Hey guys, welcome to the Homestead. I'm out here today. I'm not actually at the homestead. I'm actually at the home of a master gardener. We're going to talk with him today and show you some amazing techniques, some really great tips for first-time gardeners, and even some advanced tips for all you guys out there who've been gardening for a long time to get the most production you possibly can out of your garden. So stick around to the show. It's going to be a great time.
Well, you know, I've started gardens many times, many different places. First of all, you've got to have an open space. And I find too many gardeners that they'll try to put it on the edge of a shade tree or something like that. So the first piece of advice is look for enough of space where you're going to have at least 6 hours of sun on those plants. Start with the tillage issue, and there's a whole lot of interest, not just in backyard gardeners, but in farming today on this whole no-till thing. I mean, hundreds of thousands of people now are sort of getting on board saying, hey, we don't have to till like we used to. I don't till. My garden has never been tilled. The second concept is always keep the ground or the soil covered with something. That can be a crop, but it can also be some kind of a mulch or some kind of a winter cover crop or even a summer cover crop. I'll find a spot here that hasn't been disturbed at all, and let's just see. I'll rake this soil back with a fork. This is the way I would till my soil each year. I just open that soil up. Well, wouldn't you know? We've got some friends right there, and a lot of them. And look at how that soil, we've had 4.5 inches of rain ending 2 days ago, actually a day and a half ago, and look at this soil, how mellow it is and how it falls apart. That's what you're shooting for. Now, that doesn't happen overnight. In fact, it's one of the things that gardeners often appreciate is that they have to be patient. And but that's one of the key concepts right there as far as developing a soil. You'll notice that as you pan across, you see very little soil. And that's one of the concepts that I'm going to talk about. And that is keep your soil covered at all times. The reason for keeping that soil covered is just so critical, and that's where that interface between your cover and the soil is where the most biological activity is, and it's so important. It's just supersedes everything else as far as developing a healthy soil. You've got to have, just like your gut biome is so critical to your health, so too is the biological activity that goes on in the soil. Get a soil test and find somebody that really knows how to interpret that. And that's usually the key, because sometimes you'll get advice and recommendations that really aren't as good as they ought to be. In fact, they're quite bad in some cases. Another thing for beginning gardeners or wannabe gardeners or advanced gardeners is, what are the practices that you should be thinking about if you want to be in this realm of natural organic gardening. And that's what I call myself. I'm a natural organic gardener. And well, you have to start with almost the concept of you know, everything in the garden that goes on is connected. And so you would do one thing and then it affects something else.
Over here,
Yeah.
you got some carrots.
Yes, carrots are. I planted them about the same time, and they're a little slower in germinating, and so you can see that they're just coming through now. This is one of those examples where this was all covered for at least 7 days, maybe 8 or 9, with a fairly heavy coating or covering of pine needles. You could use straw also. But as soon as you see the germination of the carrots, you better get that off because they are very tiny and don't have the ability to push through. So I've taken most of that straw or pine needles off of this bed, and now the carrots are coming. It looks like we'll have a great crop here. I think this 100 square foot bed, because carrots will be spaced at about 2 inches apart, that will give me 2,500 carrots on this 100 square feet. And I'm fortunate here to have a very deep soil, so I often grow carrots that are 10 to 12 inches in length. Yeah, what we have here are actually Detroit dark red beets. It's an old heirloom variety that lots of people use, and it's one of the best. I've tried several, and I like this one best of all. Beets are not difficult to grow, but they take quite a bit of work in the sense that, you know, for every beet seed, you're going to have several plants come up, and you don't want them too close together. The spacing on beets is ideally 4 inches apart, and so I'll make rows about 4 inches apart, just narrow, thin rows, and try to get the seed down that row. And you can see if you did pretty good right there. But now I got to come back and thin probably 2/3 of the beets. And if I have one every 3 to 4 inches, I'll have a tremendous crop. In fact, this is a 100 square foot bed, and the number of beets in this bed will be roughly 1,500, under 1,500 beets, and I'll have nice beets, all about 2 inches in diameter when I take them to market. What we have here is a blueberries, and I've got several blueberry varieties. I don't even remember exactly which one this one is, but it's a nice big blueberry. It's come on fairly nice this spring, although we did have some freezing weather just at the time of blooming, and that reduced the crop by some proportion. Blueberries, if you're thinking about growing them, a couple characteristics. One is that they require acid soil, and you will want your pH down to 6 or below. The other thing is they're fairly shallow rooted, and that presents a problem in the summer in the sense that they need moisture, and if you don't have some kind of a system to keep them regularly watered, it can be hard to grow blueberries. Other than that, as far as insects and disease, relatively free, and I've had good luck. I think this particular bush, I've picked as many as 10 quarts in a season. So that's a good production. What I'm showing is garlic that was planted last fall, probably in October. You don't want to plant it too early, or it kind of gets away in the fall. But look at the size of this. I've got kind of small thumb, but you can see pretty close to 3/4 of an inch, and this is just the end of April. So in about a month, this will have end of May, well, maybe a month and a half. this will be ready for harvest. And I've planted this a little further apart than usual, just because I know it's grows so vigorously here. And I'll harvest. I sell some products, and I'll probably have enough for $100 or $200 worth of garlic off of 100 square feet. So
that's just amazing. This one over here is look at that.
yeah. I'll tell you,
that's amazing.
When you dig garlic, you know never pull it, just pull it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to actually dig it, or it'll pull that top off sometime. While we're in this area of the spring crops, let me pull a couple of things here. This is what's called either Japanese or a Hakuri turnip. It's a hybrid. When you eat this turnip, you hardly know you're eating a turnip. There's a sweetness to it. They're just wonderful in salads and great additions. You can cook them, but we just prefer them raw. Now I'm just pulling a bunch here. We're just in that season now, but these have been planted about 30 days ago. So you can see we've got a nice bunch of turnips with make a good addition to any kind of a salad. I use a water structuring advice, so all of the water that goes onto my garden has structured water. Structured water is energized water. Another product that I use, and this is kind of an advanced thing too, and that is paramagnetic rock. Paramagnetic rock is rock from volcanoes that has this high paramagnetic value. Paramagnetism has to do with energy again, and I have an example of putting it on my garden and growing corn that was called, well, it was country gentleman corn, 90-day corn, of eating that corn on day 59. And so I've got pretty good evidence with that and other crops that I've tested it on that it speeds up the growth. And you aren't gonna grow it too fast. This corn was. I know I planted it on June the 2nd, this is several years ago, and in 30 days it was 6 feet tall. 40 days it was 9 feet tall. 50 days it was 11 feet tall, and on day 59 we were eating that corn. I checked the Brix value with the Brix meter on that corn because I thought, well, I just wonder, grow it too fast like that, maybe there's a problem. It was off the scale. There's a scale for each different kind of crop. And corn, I think the top is 16 or 20, and I had an index of in some as high as 32, and only because that's as high as the meter would read. You don't have to be an expert in all of the gardening in order to share with your neighbors. You can start by just sharing some fresh carrots and vegetables from your garden. The next step may very well be you start telling your neighbors about some of those things that you're doing in your garden and encouraging them. Promote community gardens. And little by little, this movement will hopefully roll into something huge and something very, very helpful. Not for me, not for people that in my age group, but for my grandchildren and your grandchildren.
Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested, this land right here is for sale. This house is for sale. Calvin is going to be retiring soon, and so he's looking to downsize, and so he's selling this amazing property, 2 acres, and the amazingly energy efficient home as well. And so if you're interested in any of the information, I'm going to leave contact information in the description below for this YouTube video. You can check it out there. You can email them and get all the specifics on pricing and all the details, and I'll include a lot of the information in the description below as well, so you can check all that out. But it's for sale, and you'd only be an hour and a half away from an American homestead, so that's cool. All right. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, please check out this list of amazing folks. These are our patrons. They make all of our videos possible. We could not do what we do on YouTube without them. They are the executive producers of our show. You can find out more by going to patreon.com/AnAmericanHomestead. Other than that, like, subscribe, share us on Facebook, hit that subscribe button down there below, and we'll see you next time on An American Homestead.